What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. We're in the mask here in the intro. It's actually the first day we're back with masks here in Vegas. First day back mandating masks everywhere in the casinos. But anyways, it's a Friday night and hopefully we find some juicy action. Of course, we're here at the Win again. I mean, you just can't really go wrong playing some 2-5 here. Action's crazy. There's 5 2-5s running, so hopefully we'll find some good action like we typically always do here and try to run it up. So yeah, this is nearing the end of our Vegas trip. We only have 2 more days left, so I don't know how many more cash sessions we'll play. Try to mix in as many as we possibly can, along with the tournaments, of course. But Vegas trip is coming to a close. It's been some banger videos. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and let's get into the action. Let's get on with it. We start off this session hot with pocket jacks, the first hand dealt in. We're in the cutoff, and there's an undergun player who limps. We're definitely going to put in a raise. Not sure how these players at the table play yet, but a raise to $25 is in order. We get the button, big blind, and undergun player to make the call here, so multi-way to a flop. The flop comes 8-7 deuce rainbow. Action checks to me, and we've got a decision to make as to how much we want to bet. We have an overpair on a semi-connected board. I decided to size up to $75, and only the undergun player who limped makes the call. So now we're going to a turn heads up. The turn comes the 5 of hearts, brings in 2 hearts on board, and he checks to me again. I think besides being up against a hand like 9-6, that really wouldn't be playing this way. I think it's a decent spot to experiment with an overbet. So I go for it. I size up to $350 over betting the size of the pots. And now onto him. He thinks for quite some time. And we see some bad news. He puts in a check raise. $350 is not big enough for him. $350 turns into a $1,000 raise. Now this sucks. We overbet for value, but facing a raise just seems extremely strong and certainly can have a lot of sets on this board, I guess. Not sure what players are limping with on the gun, but pocket deuces could certainly be in there. So this is certainly not an amazing spot to be in, especially the first hand dealt into this session. And I think for a while, and maybe sometimes, this player can be doing this with a combo draw, maybe just going crazy. Little ambitious to think so, but we've got an overpair. Let's just gamble here a little bit. I rip it all in for about $1,400 total, and he's not going to be folding. He makes the call. We're off to a river, massive pot brewing, going to the river, which is a 9, so not a card that helps us. We flip over pocket jacks, and he has 7s for a set as expected. 15 seconds into the session, it is time to claw back a full buy-in. Chips. We got on for another $1,500 in more chips, and this second hand, ace-king offsuit in the small blind. There's an undergun open to $15. We get some action as the middle position player and cutoff make the call. We can't crawl back the $1,500 by slow playing this, so put in the raise. We're out of position, and typically I just try to double what's in the middle, which is about $45. So I 3-bet to 90, and only one player makes the call facing our 3-bet, the undergun player. So he's got about $1,000 in his stack, and we want all of it. Let's go to a flop. The flop comes 10-5 deuce rainbow. Pretty hard flop to get all $1,000 in and still be good with ace king high. So going to shut down here, thinking that we torched $90 in this hand. I check. He snap checks it back. The turn comes a 4, so it's a good looking one as we improve to a gut shot. Action goes check check once again, so thinking maybe, just maybe, ace king high might be good. When the river is the queen of spades, now we lose to some combos like ace queen, queen jack, who knows. I check, he snap checks it and shows us ace 8 of spades. Ace 8 high is going to be no good. We'll take this one down. Ace king high. At least this is our first winning hand of the night. In the next dicey spot with pocket 10s, we're in the small blind once again out of position, and there are 3 players who limp to the button player. He raises it up to $40 to my right, and now we're out of position. We've got a good hand. Definitely going to put in a 3-bet in this spot. I size to $160. Action folds back to him, and he decides on a call. So pretty big pot brewing here so far, going to a flop, which comes queen 8-6 2 hearts. We've got second pair here, and we can't be too afraid of that queen over our pair. So we put in a c-bet of $105. I think most live players overfold a lot of the time when they miss, And that could just be exploited by c-betting more often, but here in this instance, he makes the call, so I certainly don't love it. Heating the situation more when the turn comes the 5 of hearts. Really don't love it now. I just slow down and check with a pair of 10s. He bets out $200 at this point, and this just seems like a pretty miserable spot to be in. I think things over, but it just seems too likely that our hand just isn't good here. It's really ambitious to think that our hand is going to be up against some sort of draw that has really good equity, so I don't know. I'll let this one go and fold. Am I just running bad or playing bad? I'm pretty sure it's the latter, but in the comment section below, just let me know how terrible of a player I am. It seems like I don't get enough of that on this channel, so really need to hear it from you guys. Okay, it's time to turn things around. Can't really win a hand, so we pick up Jack 9 of spades in the low jack. There is a +1 player who opened limps. Not going to get that limp through. I put in a raise to $25, and we get action. The small blind and +1 make the call, so going 3 ways to a flop of ace queen 4 all spades. That's pretty nice to flop the second nuts, and when action checks to me, I'm just going to size small here on a monotone board. We don't really want to scare anyone off, so we bet out $25, and surprisingly, both of them really like their cards. They both make the call. Let's go to a turn, which comes the 10 of spades. It's cool to have an open-ended straight flush draw now, but really not that cool that our hand isn't that strong. We still have the second nuts, but it's a lot more likely that we can be beat, and I don't think we can get much value from worse holdings. So when action checks to me, it doesn't seem like a spot where we can get called to light. I just check this one back, and we're off to see a river. The river is the 3 of diamonds, and once again, both players check to me. Seems like they're pretty weak at this point. I'm not sure how big I want to bet, but just going to put out a bet of $85, and both fold in a rather frustrating manner. So a little bit frustrated myself. Couldn't build that pot up a little bit bigger. Just looks like we're winning the small ones, I guess. This next hand comes an hour and a half after the Jack 9 of spades. It's an action-heavy table. We've watched the guy 3-bet and shove with 6-3 offsuits. So when we finally pick up pocket 10s on the gun, I want to get involved and finally get to raise it up. So I size to $20 here, and we get the +1 and cutoff player to make the call. The player on the button who just lost a $4,500 pot just one hand ago. He 3-bets to $100. This button player is a pretty solid reg here at the win. He could be steaming, who knows, but with pocket 10s, we're not going to go anywhere. I make the call and everyone else folds. So going to a flop out of position, let's see a good one. When the flop comes queen, jack, deuce, 2 spades, nope, not the flop we're looking for. I check to him, he bets out $70. I can't even continue if I really wanted to. Not really having a chance to play too many interesting hands, although we've been seeing chips and action fly left and right in front of us. Just want to get involved one of these times, but we fold and we're moving on.
It's such an update. There's a lot of action. We're a few hours into the session. There's a lot of deep stacks. Deep stacks, a lot of action, 2-5. We just need some hands. Been card dead for a while. I swear to God, I'm watching money go left and right and thousands of dollars go left and right, and I just want to be involved, guys. I want to be involved. Let's head back in there. Try to be involved. I'm trying. It's been a few hours. Not a lot's been going on.
The patience has paid off in this hand. We look down at ace king of spades in the big blind. Finally, another premium. There are 2 limps, and there's a small blind who raises to $30. This is the same player who 3-bet 6-3 offsuit earlier. He 3-bet 6-3 off and ripped it all in eventually with them with 6 highs. So definitely going to size up and put in a 3-bet. I re-raise it up to $100. +1 player who limped makes the call. And some backstory about this player, he just won a $3,000 pot, flush over flush. And he had 10 deuce of hearts. So yeah, he also is playing a lot of hands. And everyone else folds. So we're going heads up out of position. The flop comes 9-9-3 rainbow. We've got 1 spade on board. So with 2 overs, backdoor flush draw, I am going to put out a bet and size to $70. He now puts in a raise to $200. All right. Well, sometimes this player can just be blasting off. I have no idea, but
I'm definitely not in a folding mood at this point with how patient I've been. Ace King, definitely a premium, and on this board, we're going to see at least a turn. I make the call for 130 more. When the turn comes, the 9 of clubs, all things considered, really great card for us, as I can rep all the stronger hands with overpairs. I check to him, and he decides on a check back. So we're off to a river, which is the 4 of clubs now, and I'm unsure what to do. Do we need to turn our hand into a bluff, or is Ace King high enough to just check back? If this player had pocket 3s or something like that, he certainly hates his hand, but if he has a hand like pocket 6s or other pocket pairs, I don't see the specific player type folding too much. So I just check, ultimately hoping that he doesn't blast off, and he ends up snap checking it back, showing us Ace Jack of hearts. So we win. Ace King high versus Ace Jack high. Like I said, I guess sometimes he can blast off on the flop there, and we'll finally take down a decent-sized pot. So hoping to keep the momentum going our way, we look down at Queen 10 offsuit in the big blind. There's a +1 open at $15. We get the hijack and small blind to call, and for only $10 more, I'm going to toss in a call as well. So we're going 4 ways to a flop of a Queen 6-4 rainbow. Finally, top pair. We've got something. Action checks around on this flop though, unfortunately, and when the turn is the 3 of diamonds, the player to my right in the small blind bets out $50. I've seen him bet really big, both as bluffs and for value bets. So with top pair, pretty easy call for us. The +1 player calls as well, but from the fashion that he did it, he seems a little weak. So we're going 3 ways to a river, which is the ace of spades. I don't love it, obviously, another card over our pair, but small blind bets out again. This time it's 180. It's such a polarized sizing, and like I said, the player to my right, he's the guy who jammed $1,000 plus with 6-3 offsuit, so definitely capable of bluffing. So whatever, I certainly can bluff catch as a lot of the draws bricked out, and I don't really see one pair of aces going this large for value. So I call, toss in the $180. +1 player folds and gets out of the way, and he shows us the good old 3-4 offsuit. So looks like he had it this time. We're just running into it, it seems, winning the small pots, losing the big ones, but nice hand. For the last notable hand of the session, looking down at pocket deuces on the button. I think you know how this hand's going to go when we show deuces. There's an onion open to $20. I make the call, small blind, big blind, all call. We've been pretty friendly with the players in the blinds, so we're off to a flop multi-way. And obviously the flop is going to come Jack 6 deuce rainbow, bottom set, and a dream. Let's find a way to crawl out of the deep hole that we've dug ourselves in. Action checks to me, and I'm going to size tiny here in this spot to just $25. Trying to build a pot. Realistically, I probably should have bet a little bit larger, but when all of them make the call, considering the big blind also says he only called to be on the vlog, well, finally, it's been hours of folding, and we have a strong hand, and we've got action. So we're off to a turn, which is a 4. So still 4 ways, and the small blind who's first to act leads out for 30. The big blind calls, telling me that I shouldn't fold, and well, little does he know we're sitting with pocket deuces. Definitely never going to fold, but for $30, this price is just not enough. We want to bump it up just a little bit, and we raise it up to a sizing of 150. Only the player in the small blind makes the call. Big blind ends up folding, saying that he just doesn't have a good enough hand, and we're going to a river heads up. The river is the ace of hearts, just not a great one, as I put this player on some sort of Jack X holding, and we really can't get max value against top pairs that were on the flop and turn anyways. So small blind now just continues with a check, and I'm going to bet small, hoping to just get all Jack X's to call. I size to 125. This player doesn't look too happy, but ultimately thinks for a while and makes the call. We show bottom sets deuces. It's going to be good. One of the very few pots we've won today. I guess we dug too big of a hole the first hand in, but we made a little bit back. All right, wrapping up the session. Unfortunately, played for a little too long and also folded a little too many times. Didn't get into too many interesting spots. We just watched a lot of action pass us by. Talked a lot about some 6-3 off, 3-bet all-in hands, some 10 deuce suited flush over flush for a lot of money. Oh my goodness. We weren't a part of it, unfortunately. We watched it all happen, but yeah, we were in the game for $4,000 total, out of it for an unfortunate 2188, so a little bit bloody there. You watched some interesting spots where I won, but a lot of it I just picked up some hands, 3-bet pre and get 4-bet, or I don't know, just like have ace king and whiff and all that stuff that kind of bled out $100 here and there. But losing $1,500 right off the bat never helps. Yeah, unfortunate session here so far, but we'll bounce back. Action's still really good. Honestly, can't complain about the 2-5 action. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you made it this far, if you watched to the end. As always, a little bit more Vegas vlogs coming soon. I might be going to LA, so you might see 1 or 2 LA poker vlogs in the near future as well. But thank you as always for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.